Welcome to Previewed, where friends don't let friends review movies alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're going to review riff. And no, we're not going to recommend. You've probably seen all these movies already. But hey guys, we're back because we're gaming the system differently than usual.
Baby.
Differently. We're gaming the system differently this time. This is the first time we're ever doing a get out of here, a movie review palooza. Because for certain reasons beyond my control, we took the whole month off because Jay was really busy with something really important.
I was raising a child. I'm not playing coy with it.
I didn't.
My baby came.
Yeah, I know.
My sweet boy.
I wasn't playing.
James Richard Schmidt IV, and he's a little gent, and
He's a little gent.
He's a little gentleman. Yes.
Mama, thank you.
Yes, he holds his bottle pinky up.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Ah ha ha ha! And he every time we accidentally we leave a window open, he leans out and calls for a small boy to go fetch him a Christmas goose.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes. What day is it? I don't know. Tuesday. Get me a Christmas goose. We've got so many gooses in our fridge. Man, you need any goose meat?
I don't think I've ever had goose, Jay.
Yeah, that's I haven't either. I was about to have an opinion on it and realized I've never eaten goose.
All right.
All right, putting that on the list.
Putting on the list, yeah.
Eat goose.
Hey, there was a lot of really good movies that came out in June.
Yeah.
And Jay and I saw them eventually.
Yes.
We didn't go see them when they came out.
Some of which we actually saw in the theaters.
Yes.
And that was great.
2 of them we saw in the
A
theaters.
very big thank you to my wife for allowing me to go to the movies while we have a completely newborn at home. Throw all the big shout outs to Kimberly in the comments because she's the best wife and she's doing a wonderful job as a mother, and I'm so proud of her. I can't even stand it. And she let me see movies. Come on now.
Yeah.
And then some of them, look, I have a kid at home. There was a little bit of going on. But we got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yes, indeed you do. I'm very proud of you.
What do you mean?
Well, this is the first time you've ever jumped on the boat with me to go sailing.
I honestly, I'm usually I never do that.
I know,
but I had to. We don't condone it, or it is not the express opinion of Previewed to condone such behavior.
We are completely neutral on that topic.
Yes.
We don't know.
We don't even know what we're talking about.
We don't, but we are going to talk about movies. There's a lot of them that we watched that I probably watched a couple
and some other stuff we watched.
And some other stuff. This is going to be a review of all the things we watched in June. Well, pretty much everything we've watched since May 20th?
May 25th.
Since May 25th until right now, everything, most of the things we've watched since then. Let's start off this movie review palooza with probably one of the biggest one that everyone's been asking a lot of.
Yeah.
Let's start talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Part 1.
In my opinion, this may be the best animated movie I've ever seen. It's easily one of the best Spider-Man movies ever made. Mm-hmm. It's arguably maybe one of the best comic book movies ever made.
Well, the first one was one of the best comic book movies ever made.
And then this one just pushed that envelope even farther.
Well, because instead of... This is no spoilers, by the way. In case most of you probably seen this already. But instead of having all the universes come to Miles and having individual characters have different styles, this time...
Miles goes with them.
Yeah. And so we get to see whole worlds in different styles.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is so amazing. Of all this, just so many amazing things happening on screen and just the artistic choices that even happen like in the scenes. Like you start out in a normal scene and then it gets emotional and then the background starts adapting and morphing to the emotions of the characters. Just like, and you don't it's so subtle, you don't even pick up on it until like, wait a second. Everything turned into watercolors.
If you could only submit one scene to the Academy for consideration for your movie,
sure,
they should just submit the final scene between Gwen and her dad. It's the kind of thing that comes along very rarely, and it's a really, really special treat when every aspect of a creative property is on the same page, and really they all hit the bullseye simultaneously. Like that scene in particular splits its own arrow over and over and over again. Because I was like, from the music to the animation to like the art direction to the script to the voice acting, I was like, everything is right in the pocket. And they make it look so easy. Spider-Verse is simultaneously, the animation is so sharp and so vivid and so creative that you almost, like, I felt like I was like, I'm missing a software update on my own brain to be able to process everything that's happening in this movie.
Wow.
But also at the same time, it looks so effortless. It's butter. I have nothing, I really, of everything I've seen this summer, and considering I have a newborn, I've actually seen quite a bit. I think this may be my movie of the summer. So.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fantastic. Well, here's the thing. It's not completely a Miles movie.
No, it's a Spider-Gwen movie.
It's a Spider-Gwen movie.
With some Miles tossed in.
It is Miles, driving the plot line. Everyone's angry at... Well, not everyone. Spider-Man 2099, which is apparently me. Jay leans over when we get to Miguel... And that scene I've seen multiple times in every commercial and every trailer. Jay reaches over and is just like, hey, that's you.
It's the shot of like him at the computers and just standing there like very rigid, like looking at all the data and like.
And then it's the platform lowering, right? And he's kind of hunched over a little bit, just like. And Gwen leans over to Miles like, yeah, it's kind of his thing. Just.
He's all about precision. He's all about. We have set these rules for a very specific reason, and I'm here to execute in order to maintain balance in the universe. And that is my job, and I take it very seriously. And I eat chicken and rice and green beans for dinner every night. I am Spider-Man 2099.
You gotta get those macros, man.
you gotta hit your macros. It is Adam Lash to a T. It's a lot about vengeance. And then him learning from that vengeance and then realizing that process will overcome vengeance, i.e. Adam Lash. Process.
Process maketh vengeance.
What is Lash if not vengeance? If not process overcoming vengeance? Ooh.
You are not wrong.
And then you were like, oh, and you're Spider-Ham. And then I punched you in the mouth. And we went our separate ways.
No, you pulled out a cartoon mallet and bopped me in the head. Hence proving.
Yeah, well.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
It's a fantastic movie. You guys have probably already seen it. We loved it. Let's go talking to spoilers about it. Spot being a multiversal threat is genius.
I thought it was just going to be like a first act kind of like
Yes.
Guffamagoo, and it is a hilarious character to have as a big bad guy. And I saw an interview with the directors of the movie, and they were asked point blank. They were like, "Hey, is like some of this like plot like of Miles like quote unquote not being a proper Spider-Man, like, is that influenced by?" They're like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, when Miles Morales was first introduced, like the community writ large lost their minds.
They did.
And now everyone loves Miles, but when he first came out, people just couldn't keep it together. And this movie is a direct response to that. Spot is never supposed to be Spider-Man's big bad guy. No. But if you're talking about a Spider-Man who was never supposed to exist, and yet does anyways, it's perfect. It's perfect. And Jason Schwartzman as Spot
He's doing great.
He's really doing. For a while I had the first appearance of Spot in
really?
comic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I sold it many moons ago, and I'm sure I needed rent or something. I did not get a lot of money for said comic.
No, I wouldn't think you would.
But it also went in directions that I didn't necessarily see coming.
Like what? Like focusing on Gwen,
we're in big spoiler territory
yeah.
now. Him in his own universe, Miles, that is supposed to become Prowler.
Oh, where he ends up in Universe 42.
Yeah. Well, in Universe 42, the spider was meant for a Peter Parker there, and Miles Morales in that universe is actually the Prowler. That's. I didn't see that coming.
No, neither did I.
That blew my mind. Because I was like, where? Because we all knew it was part 1 going in. I mean, a lot of people earlier on were like confused by the ending, but we knew it was a 2-parter. But I was kind of like, okay, where are we ending this 2-parter? I thought we were ending it with Spider-Gwen.
Where are we ending? Because we thought there was
started with her, so I thought like that scene. I was like, cool, this is where we're gonna wrap it up, and then we'll keep going. And then that reveal, I was like, that doesn't. Where are we even going with part 2? And also, like, what a fun way to examine a character. They've done a really good job of building a multiverse, which can get too big and too complicated really quickly, and but also keep it very intimate and very cerebral almost.
In all of the trailers, in all of the commercials, they showed us pretty much the same nugget of the movie when they're in the Miguel's cool spider world, where all the Spider-Men are hanging out. Like every Spider-Man was hanging out.
Yeah.
We saw that over and over again. But like everything, but that's only like 15-ish minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's not even really like it's not really that big.
And it's really not that big of a deal. It's just there to get the like Miles.
That train sequence though, man.
The space train?
The space train.
That was.
I was like, I can't even imagine what it took to animate that. It was absolutely insane.
In the weeks now that we've since seeing it, seeing how Miguel and all the other Peters and even Gwen, who seemed to be kind of an anomaly, how everyone's like, yeah, man, we have to have tragedy. Somebody has to die that's just for our stories to continue. Like for whatever reason, somebody's got to die. And Miles, being an anomaly, is like, does it?
Yeah, no.
If I'm not supposed to be Spider-Man,
then what's canon for me?
Exactly.
I'm already outside of canon. I don't
exactly.
Have to be,
I'm outside of canon. My dad does not have to die.
Yeah.
And they didn't mention this in the film. This is just me keep thinking about them, because it's really just thinking about the movie over and over again because it's like so freaking good. And just like, oh, wait a second. Yeah. Miles has every right to fight for his dad's life. There's no reason his dad has to die. Mm-hmm. It's terrible that all these other Peters have had tragedy. But I'm Miles. I don't need to.
Exactly. And the fun thing that we, like at the end of the movie, when we have a new squad of alternate Spideys coming to help Miles, mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, man, yeah, go get them, Spideys.
Yeah.
I'm just holding all different kinds of hot dogs. Like, go get them!
Go get him, Spidey!
Hold a hamburger, a hot dog, slice of pizza. Pizza balls.
Oh, pizza balls. They're in the multiverse.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and sorry, we saw it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
When when Miguel is telling him all about the canon event and Uncle Ben dying or somebody else important dying, and they're showing footage from the live action movies as well, and like Peter Garfield stuff,
and that kind of thing could get corny immediately, and it's just not.
It's not at all.
It's just not.
Well, Hobby Spider-Punk was like, and as we learned after the movie, was animated on the 3s, which is insane.
Which is so.
But it's just
cool.
like, wow, that was they did, and that Donald Glover is
as live action Prowler
in the movie.
Yeah, is
so good.
It's so good,
and it doesn't look cheesy at all.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like Roger Rabbit. It's like, no, that's what this is. Yep, everything here makes sense.
One thing I think we might see in the second movie is that I think Miles might be Prowler in his universe, but maybe Prowler's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I've always loved Prowler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always thought he was really cool, and I like the idea of him like going good. I'm into it. Street level Iron Man with a little Batman tossed in. Who everyone's happy. That's fun. It's like he's like kind of like Spawn without all the nonsense.
There is a lot of nonsense to Spawn.
All right, we need to move on to the next movie.
Oh, okay, we're moving on. So everyone, Spider-Verse, it was fantastic.
Guys,
go see it again.
It's a masterpiece.
Just wait until
it's a masterpiece.
It's going to be on Netflix because it's Sony. It'll be on Netflix at some point. Maybe Disney. I don't know which one is it because whatever deal they have, I don't know quite sure what streaming network they have.
We'll figure it out. Kimberly really wants to see it, so I told her that as soon as it's streaming, I'd watch it with her.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next big movie that came out after that was Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Non-spoilers.
Really caught me off guard because I saw it I saw Flash first.
Yeah.
And then I saw this movie. I was like, wow, this movie is good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, And it's also like a really good Transformers movie.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily as surprised just because I really like the Transformers movies. I've seen all of them. I know that a lot of them are problematic, but I just like it when the big robots turn into cars.
Sure.
I just like it.
Yeah, I know what you do.
Honestly, I didn't really have a connection to this toy franchise, really. Mm-hmm. I was a little too young.
Yeah.
But I had more of a connection to the Maximals
Mm-hmm.
and like the Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars, because that was a little bit more closer to my age group. And it was marketed towards my age group at the time. Mm-hmm. As far as Transformers movies go, like it is up there. Like it's also just like we were talking about it right before we started recording. This movie has no fat on its bones in any way.
It goes.
It clips. It gets what it needs to get done. There is no need. There is MacGuffin hunting, but none of it is like overblown or tired.
Nope.
It just like clips along. All of the human characters, we get enough of their backstory to fully understand them.
There's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, and the little brother and Tails.
Oh, sure.
We fully understand who they are as human beings, what their struggles are, what their goals are. Enough, and then they're like, all right, and now robots. Like,
and then we understand the robot struggle. We understand where Optimus is. We understand where Mirage is.
And it also presents like a really interesting character development for Optimus Prime, as this is a prequel to where we're going. Or if it's a reboot, I don't know.
You guys, when we did the trailer for it, you guys were like, "Hey, this actually is just a new. They rebooted it in Bumblebee. If this movie does well, they're just going to keep going with this, and they should." This movie was really good.
It was really good.
It
didn't have any right to be good. Let's be real. I mean, like, it didn't...
Because that's a big, we're going to bring in the Maximals.
Okay.
Really?
All right. Like,
with the mainline Transformers, but they never met up.
They never met up. They're technically from 2 different planets.
2 different time. One's from the future and one's from the present.
Yeah.
Present or whatever.
Yeah.
But it all works out. Everything works together.
They explain it just enough for me to go, all right.
Yep, sure, that makes perfect sense.
Sure.
Because we did our Fix It episode on Age of Extinction. It came out the week this movie came out, and we had some really good ideas for our fixes.
Yes.
And when I was watching this movie, it's like, that same idea that we had, or just the story direction of like, this is how you would do it. This is how you should do a Transformers movie.
Fix it. Click the link.
That's exactly why I said it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's our podcast. Listen to it, idiots. It's fun.
We're in this movie. I was like, we nailed it.
Yeah,
we're on the same page with these guys, right? It's like, yes, this was, man. And the Maximals were also awesome. They didn't get they did a good job. There was 10 Transformers, good guys.
Yes.
And 3 bad guys.
And that's about as much as I can handle mentally.
Yes.
Because some of these movies, I'm like, we have too many Transformers. I don't know I don't remember which one that is. Mm-hmm. Whoops, all berries.
But they did a good job of like, nope, Mirage, gets the most shine. We already know Bumblebee, so we don't need to do that. And we need to know where Prime's head is, and Primal, Optimus Primal.
Yeah.
Those are like basically the 3 main Transformers that would get like characterization, and are 2 humans. And then the bad guys just know Scourge. Right? Was it? I mean, he was a badass. He had a lot of power-ups from Unicron. Yeah. And he had all the...
Unicron was really the big bad.
And also the fact that he had all those emblems on his shoulders, that was... And kind of an Easter egg, because like there was Decepticons up there. There was different versions of like, oh, that's cool. Also, like, what? You expanded the universe a little bit. Neat.
Man, I feel like my group of friends needs like a Transformers kind of icon kind of thing, you know?
So like me and Brian and Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need a patch?
Yeah. I guess it's just the previewed logo at this point.
At this point, it is, Jay. hey, bud, we have those.
All right, fair enough.
Fair enough. All right, it's a great movie. Let's get into spoilers because the details of this are really good.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, there's the big ending, but honestly, other than what we've already talked about, I don't have much to say other than this movie's it's a fun ride. It's a great, crack open a beer and watch this on streaming, because I don't know if it's still in theaters, but...
Probably. It's only been a couple weeks.
Oh, maybe.
Basically, all the spoilers of this movie are at the very, very end.
Yes.
Because the trailer showed most of it.
You get Transformers, the fight. The reasons are not really going to spoil anything for you. Like, the good guys win. Ta-da!
Yeah. But Mirage, sacrificing himself.
Yeah, and
Okay.
him taking on the suit like that, when it first was happening, I was like, this is kind of stupid. And then I was like, no, it's kind of fun.
That happened in the comics.
Yeah, I know. It's a fun idea.
It was a fun idea.
It's a fun way to. It's a fun thing we can utilize going forward.
It absolutely is. I thought that was cause I remember this from the movie when Sam had his own little suit that when they were he was up with Bumblebee doing space stuff.
The only thing I wish that like that just his face wasn't. I wish there was just like a face covering, like a mask of some kind.
So full coverage.
Yeah,
so we did like an Iron Man
kind
thing.
of breaks down a little bit.
It's still hard to do face in mask during live action.
It's just a little tough.
It's a little tough.
It kind of takes. I understand why. Like, look, if you're an actor, you want your face on a thing as much as you can possibly get it.
And he was great in this movie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to not like him in this movie.
Really?
I liked him in the Heights.
Sure.
There's just. For me, I don't know. There was something about it that I was like, I don't know about this choice. And then I was like, nope, this is perfect. And he's great.
Yeah.
So that's my own nonsense.
Like, honestly, he's probably one of the strongest human No, I'm going to say he's the strongest human character we've had in any Transformers movie.
Yeah, I mean, from a screenplay perspective.
From a screenplay perspective, yes.
Yeah.
He did great. And then when he's got the suit, it's like, yo, he's kicking this guy. Yo, this is awesome. More of this, please.
Yeah.
And also, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm not the biggest fan of Pete Davidson, but man, he did a really good job in this movie.
I could tell that they were like recording in the booth together, and you need that in a Transformers. You need kind of that Bumblebee connection.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Bumblebee is that, and it's something that makes him endearing, but at a certain point, it kind of breaks down being able to connect to him because he can't talk.
That's the Mirage and
Noah?
Yes, Noah.
Yeah.
Their relationship in this movie is what Bumblebee's relationship should be to his human companion.
Yeah.
Because him being able his inability to talk.
I think Bumblebee kind of got there.
Well, in the first movie, yes, with Haley, that was great. But like, it would have been even better if he could talk.
Yeah. No, I understand but that's the bit, man. Like that's the thing.
I'm saying the bit's dumb. And Mirage and Noah's relationship in this movie was great, and like the central pillar of this movie. Yeah. I was like, yo, you should have that with Bumblebee.
It's also nice to see a Transformer who is cool and good at being a Transformer, but also like not necessarily like the best clearly like kind of green.
Yeah.
As far as like a teammate goes on like a crack squad of transforming robots.
Also, their designs were awesome.
Yeah, they were really good.
Seeing
old school Optimus was pretty. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't happy to see that because.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Because I also like new school. I like new school Optimus
with the flames.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
Okay,
I mean,
sure.
Put flames on anything. It's cool.
Okay.
You know?
RC was great. Her design was really cool. Like the designs of all of the Transformers were very sleek. Very minimal. They had just enough stuff on them. They're like, all right, they're robots and cool. They transform and stuff, but like it wasn't too complicated. It was just, and the Maximals were really cool. Even though they didn't get as much characterization, but they're still in universe. They're still there. They help out, even though they're like the future versions of all the Transformers. Man, it was really good. So let's talk about the final scene.
Yeah.
The final scene of the movie. I lost my goddamn mind silently because I was watching it while Amanda was asleep. I could not believe what I just saw on screen.
Yeah.
Because the whole scene was like, hey, this is the organization that we saw from the previous movies. It's like the government knows about Transformers. They got a special crack squad doing stuff or whatever. This makes perfect sense. Oh, great. They're going to do more of these. Noah will be around with this. Okay, great. We found a way for Noah to keep going on with it within the franchise.
Yeah, love it.
And then he flips over that business card.
And it's G.I. Joe.
And it's G.I. Joe. And man, the balls.
Yeah.
Like it's just so insane that it could totally work. Because the whole scene, like, it's like Eureka, because like, the whole world's in trouble. It's like, because Transformers.
For a millisecond, I thought it was corny. For like a millisecond, I was like, I don't know about that. And then I thought, oh man, it's just all my toys are gonna fight. Like how I used to play with all of my toys. Oh, that's some next level shiz.
The fact that we are now, surprise, rebooting the G.I. Joe franchise and with
Transformers, and they're all gonna have to go fight Mumra.
On Thundera?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Woo,
Let's
woo,
do it.
woo, woo. Remember when Bumblebee drove up and we didn't know who was driving it? It was like, oh, it's Battle Cat inside of Bumblebee.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man, let's party. And Lego Batman. Yeah.
Lego Batman was there?
All the toys are coming.
Oh my god.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, it's really great, and I can't wait to find out more information about that.
It was
That looks
dope
fun.
as hell.
That was
dope as hell.
That's how you do it, by the way.
Like this.
Don't tell anybody, and then just.
These are my Fast and Furious movies. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I like the Fast and Furious movies, but at the end of the day, I don't totally connect to it or really care. But like these are the movies I'm like, yeah, just turn my brain off and watch the cool things happen. Yeah, buddy. They're like, these aren't very good. I'm like, yeah, shut up. Whereas a lot of people with Fast and Furious are like, they're kind of bad, huh? It's like, yeah, shut your mouth.
Yeah, but hit
It's
that
all about
NOS, baby. Yeah. So, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah, dude.
Great.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
Party on.
Can't wait to watch it again.
Cannot wait.
When it's streaming on Paramount Plus. Yes, it'll be. I believe it'll be on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. I might watch this one again when it actually comes out on streaming, just so I can like give it a proper.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sorry, I had to do a review, and I'm a baby.
All right, moving on to the next film we saw after Transformers. Well, I saw this one before I watched Transformers, but it came out afterwards. It is probably the worst movie that came out this month. The Flash. Now, Jay just watched it.
I watched it this morning. And this is what I told Kimberly because she came in after. She came in while I was watching it because she had just. It was her turn to feed the baby.
Sure. And she saw the look on your face.
And she was like, "What's going on here?" And I was like, "Watching The Flash." And she was like, "How are you? How is it?" And I go, "Good. Good." I will say this. This is the most fun. Outside of Shazam, Shazam exists in its own little pocket. In my mind, I don't connect those with the DCU.
Yes, in Jay's mind, there's still that big giant dome around Philadelphia.
It's
that the Shazam kids can't get out of.
They're their own thing. This is the most fun I've had watching a DCU movie so far, I think.
Okay.
There's a lot of great action sequences. They're giving me a lot of what I want to see from a superhero perspective. We got to see friggin' Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm being completely honest, I don't have as much of a connection to as people who are a little bit older than me do. Because I watched those movies. I watched those movies as a kid, and honestly, I was too young, and they're
scary.
They
were spooky. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like these movies. Yeah. They're spooky.
Scary. Yeah.
But watching them now, I'm like, oh, these are great. But Michael Keaton was in my mind was never my Batman.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Which is I know. I didn't really totally connect with a Batman movie until the Nolan ones.
Yep.
So I had a lot of fun, but the long and the short of it is that I feel like this movie is trying to do some really, really big things, and it's trying to make me think about the DCU in a different way, and I appreciate that, but in the back of my mind the entire time, I cannot forget that none of it matters because this is all going down the toilet. It doesn't matter.
As I was watching it, I was like, this seems to be doing okay. This is all right. The CG, the first scene was rough, but we saw Batfleck, and that was awesome. Ben Affleck is a good Batman. Ben Affleck is a good Batman.
And I've been saying it over and over again. I wanted more of that.
He was good.
Anytime he showed up, when he showed up in the beginning, I was like, yeah, it's good.
It was good.
It's good. This could have been really interesting.
Yeah. As we were going through the movie, and I was like, oh, we're in Flashpoint now. We're doing stuff. Oh, there's Keaton's Batman. This is cool. There's just a general sense of this movie's something's wrong here. I got the Adam tingles. Something's just not working. Something's wrong. Oh, there's Supergirl. Cool. All right. We're at the end of the movie already. Boy, we got here really fast and also really slow. There were parts of this movie that dragged a lot. By the end of it was like, oh, okay, this was all just a joke. This whole thing was supposed to be hilarious. And the thing was that Ezra Miller is not a funny person, and the script was meant to be a comedy. And
there were some moments here and there.
There were every moment that was supposed to be funny. I'm like, I see the humor in what you've written.
I see what you're shooting for.
I see what you're shooting for. That did not come across. I feel like Ezra's performance hampered the humor in this that was laced through this movie.
Yeah.
And it just ultimately was like, oh, okay, that's what this whole thing was? I saw this done better on the Flash TV show about 5 years ago with my Flash. Well, my second Flash, because my first Flash was the guy from the 90s. Because I was old enough for that show. So when he shows up in the...
I'm old!
Is that sticking around? Is that joke sticking around? But like, it was the same. Like they're doing Flashpoint, and Flashpoint was done better on the TV show. You guys were building this movie up for years.
Yeah.
And then James Gunn's like, this is like one of the best movies I've ever seen. It was not. It was not. It was not. Not even close.
I didn't not enjoy it. It's just, it vexed me, this movie.
Yes. It was very vexing. And let's get to the vexing. Well, this is the spoiler part.
Spoilers.
Okay.
I think the fact that traveling in time affecting the past and the future doesn't make any sense. And I think it's a concept that I think they just like invented to make weird stuff happen. I don't get it. And
you don't get the pasta going from here to here?
It doesn't. I understand. Here's the thing. They actually explained their concept beautifully.
They did.
But I just disagree with their concept.
Yes. Yep.
And they were like, oh well, like certain people think that like it just splits off. And I'm like, there's coming after the MCU right now. I don't want the timelines to come to the characters. I like the timelines affect like giving us new characters. Does that make any sense?
Yes. In this timeline,
yeah.
Kara was sent to Earth.
Yes.
Cal was somewhere else.
Yes.
In this timeline, Keaton was Batman.
This
back
just
in the
means
90s.
that like where there is one timeline that just wibble wobbles through its thing, and that doesn't make any sense. Well, time isn't linear. Okay, well then what is it? It's spaghetti? Okay, movie. What? Do they use this mechanic very cleverly? Yes. They do. And it's some of the Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future thing, that was a good bit.
It was.
Him having that tattoo on his leg?
Yes.
That's pretty funny. There, like
Other people could pick up the humor in this movie. Yes.
Why would it be a different Batman?
Yeah.
Why would it be a different...
Yep.
Why would that...
Yep.
Well, we explained it. I understand, but you didn't... But that's...
Huh?
Well, you got to change the way you think about time travel. It doesn't exist. So...
It's vexing. Well, I mean, it was more comic accurate.
bums me out.
It was more comic accurate Flashpoint. Zod being the threat of like, oh, for whatever reason in this timeline, Cal's not here. Kara's here and she's trapped in Russia. Okay. But like Zod being this existential threat, like, oh, that's a neat idea for the movies that we have. Only a handful of them. So, okay, neat. But like that threat is only done in Act 3. It's not like a ticking clock. It's not like we got to carry it in time because Zod's about, like, it's just kind of there and then Act 3 happens. But Act 3 is inconsequential to the plot. We just have to watch all this happen over and over and over again. It's like, it's Flash. It's the TV. Oh, we're doing the TV. It's the TV show. It's not. I thought it was gonna be the Black Racer. Like, oh, that's Black Racer. Cool. That's an interesting thing. Don't mess with the timeline, Barry. You're gonna get chased by the people in charge of the Speed Force. No. Oh, it's just it's yourself again. For God's sake, didn't need another evil Barry.
Yeah. One sequence I did like, them interjecting, like him talking about how he did show up to Metropolis to try and help when everything was going south.
Yes.
And he was like, I just got my powers and I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's good.
That's great.
I was like, that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that makes me really like the DCU.
You know what? That was probably one of the best character moments of the whole movie. And I completely forgot about it because it was subsumed by all the other stuff.
I think the screenplay actually like built a Barry that I understood and could rally behind. All of the Ezra Miller stuff aside, I never really envisioned the character with someone like him in that role anyways. Mm-hmm. They gave us the best version of this Barry, which I appreciated.
Sure.
I just never wanted this kind of... I just never really got on board with this to begin with. I think they still ran like this.
It was a little better.
But they also made fun of it when he didn't have the Speed Force.
Yes. It was a little better, this movie. They did make fun of it, so I appreciate that. The thing that really kind of like, I get what you're going for, but man, why did the CG? Everyone said this before, but the CG in this movie was really rough. It was the scene at the beginning with the babies is like, what is happening right now?
I did not like that scene.
It's
As someone who just had a newborn and was in a situation where there was a nursery, I did not like that.
You didn't like babies
I
just
liked
falling
that
out
he
of the sky?
saved the babies.
Of course he
that
did.
was nice.
And he put one in a
But
microwave.
I just did not like that 5 minutes where I'm like, all of these babies are falling. I don't like any of that. This sucks on a rope.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Well, note to self: never have a nursery with an outward-facing window wall. That's what we learned.
Yeah.
They keep them inside in the core of the building.
Yeah. Give them with compound V, so they also have powers.
Yeah, there we go.
Building.
Save the building. There we go. Yeah, it's really rough, but especially at the end when like, okay, all these worlds are colliding. All right, giant spheres. Okay, we're doing something different. I get you. And then all these really bad deepfakes show up.
Yeah.
And like, I understand and I like appreciated what they were trying to do, and some of that stuff was kind of clever, and some of it was like on paper was a nice idea.
Yeah.
But just like seeing it and like knowing it's like this looks not is Uncanny Valley in my brain.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, okay, on paper, nice idea. It's a very nice homage, but I'm seeing this is like, why don't stop? Now you're besmirching. You're besmirching them. Please stop. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of this movie in a heart in wrapping it up. This is like some decent ideas,
Yeah.
but like they didn't
some
execute
fun
them.
action. And some fun action.
There was
I had a fun
going
time.
off
Yeah,
and
it was good.
like losing her cool. That was fun,
Yeah.
but just like she's got to die. Oh come on, she's in 2 scenes.
And
She's in 2
just seeing-
scenes and she's just dying over.
And just seeing the Batwing just like pwn noobs was
also fun.
And also I just appreciated like it was fun watching Michael Keaton's Batman like take out the trash while simultaneously still using all of his like 80s gadgetry was extraordinarily satisfying.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just feel like this is a salad I'm picking stuff out of and then eating. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ugh, croutons? Get out of here. No, I love croutons. What am I saying?
I also like croutons.
You like croutons?
I do like croutons. Surprise. Now, there was another movie that we watched yesterday. That was the big, like probably one of the bigger movies of June. But we're gonna get to that in a little bit because I watched a couple other movies.
And I watched some shows.
And Joey watched some shows.
Because I had a baby.
Yeah, I had a baby and had some time to kill at 4 a.m. So I'm gonna start off with the Netflix movie that I really wanted to watch. Extraction 2.
Oh, how was that?
Guys, it's real good.
Yeah, see, that's a movie I think that's a you movie and not a me movie.
Oh, no, Jay. It could be a you movie.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Color me surprised.
Remember
right.
that? Remember the trailer that we saw? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, he's in that for the teaser one. It was like, oh, that's a big fight in the prison. Oh, that's nuts. Did he just take a minigun to that helicopter?
Yeah.
Well, what is this? And the real trailer came out. I was like, wow, this okay. Gotta get another family out. He's back doing some cool stuff. Wow, that was neat. There's the one shot. I'm just going straight to the spoilers. There's a one shot in this movie that is like 20 minutes long.
Wow.
When he enters the prison, is just a straight shot.
No.
Yes. Yes. Now I understand that these oneers for action scenes right now are very are fad, and like every one of these seems like them, and they are very, very hard to do. Like I think they said like it took them 4 months to do this thing.
It's like a fun feather in your cap as a director, I think.
But it is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's kinetic. It's insane. But even though I'm catching when anything swipes the camera, that's a cut. It's like I don't care. This is astounding. It's so awesome. It's so cool. But then the rest of the action in the movie is like we're not doing any wonders anymore because we did all of the Act 1. But like, wow. This movie is good. It's great action. It's a good story, and leads on to more. I believe Extraction 3 has already been like,
oh wow,
give it a thumbs up because like, yeah, it's a fun movie.
All right,
it's really good, and that wonder is just it's as good. If not, maybe slightly better because it's just longer and in different locations.
Is it kind of like a John Wick thing where it's like, the action's so good it's hard to, you can't even really question any other aspect of it?
No.
Oh.
John Wick's action is better.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But but this is a little bit more.
There's more grit to it.
There's more grit to it.
Realism.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I mean, because John Wick at this point, everyone's been like, surprise! I'm behind my coat. You can't shoot me. Yes.
I just want to see John Wick just take a second and be like, I just had to choke a 400 muscle-bound dude out with my shoelace.
This one's a little bit more realistic.
Muscles hurt that I didn't even know I have. Yeah, because there's got to be certain muscles you're using to kill a man.
Sure.
That I would imagine that I've never used. Because I'm not a murderer.
You're not a murderer.
You heard it here first.
Not yet.
Not until so I keep drinking those Happy Birthday Grimace shakes. They keep a dark passenger at bay.
Okay, good to know. I did not know. Extraction 2, absolutely see it.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun. They're probably making a third one. On the plane out to Colorado, I saw Creed 3.
Oh, how'd you like it?
You know what? It's good. It's a little like, oh, that's not exactly how boxing works. I'm going to go along with, sure. He gets the title shot out of nowhere. He's never fought in anything, professionally, but like he gets the title shot. Sure, let Majors do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but technically, like, okay, you know what? For this story, which the story was very good, they did a very nice job of like coming up with parallels between Adonis's issues at home with paralleling what he was doing with his old friend and now rival, who's got the title. It's like, oh, this is very good. We're learning lessons. We're fighting, and I was like, and ultimately at the end, it's like, yeah, it kind of like Rocky 2. It was very Rocky 2-ish.
Okay.
Where like friends dealing with a lot of issues.
Sure.
And sometimes friends gotta fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this was pretty. Like it wasn't the best thing, but like, no man, this was good. This was a good movie.
Does it land the plane on that trilogy?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's-
If they were done with it, they could be done with it. I think they maybe should be. Although everyone was just yoked and jacked
dude.
and like,
Yeah.
woo.
Let Michael B. Jordan eat a cheeseburger, everybody. He's earned it. Let him. The man would like a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
My guy.
Let him eat it.
Wow.
He's cut from marble. He's done enough for everyone in the muscles department. Let him go.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. If you get a chance to see it, watch Creed 3. And real quick, I also saw Operation Fortune. Do you remember that?
What the hell is that?
It was Guy Ritchie's film that came out like at the beginning of the year with Jason Statham and Aubrey Plaza.
All right.
You know what? It's a Guy Ritchie film.
Okay.
If you're on the plane, watch it. It
You're
wasn't.
on a plane. Yeah.
It wasn't like was it a good movie? You know what? It's a good almost 2 hours. It's kind it's very quippy, some decent action,
all right.
but like it's a very tongue in cheek. But it's a Guy Ritchie film, so it's like, but you know what? Wasn't all that bad.
Do you know a movie we watched?
What was that?
With the baby here, and it was guys, Tetris movie. Catch it.
Really?
Yo, that movie. It's about the battle of American companies trying to wrestle the American publishing rights to Tetris from Cold War Russia. A movie with this mundane of a concept has no right being this engaging. Like, Kimberly at one point goes, I can't believe I'm so invested in a business meeting about contracts. She was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm on the edge of my seat about them trying to buy the rights for Tetris. That was really the only movie we watched. We watched Air too. That wasn't anywhere near as good.
Well, there was interesting. I did watch on one of their more recent Red Letter Media videos. They mentioned that they've noticed a trend in movies nowadays of more like these bio product.
Yeah, I actually kind of and I'm falling in love with them.
Really,
I really am. Like Air wasn't as good, but it was fun. It was at least it was a good ride. And I don't think if you don't have the A-list talent in that movie, it doesn't go anywhere near as.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not anywhere near as good as it ended up being. I'm into those movies.
Interesting.
Like really.
There's a couple more out there.
You should watch Tetris. It'll blow your mind. It's really good.
Cool.
TV shows.
We're
caught up on Ted Lasso.
We have finished Ted Lasso.
I think we have different opinions on Ted Lasso.
We
season 3.
do have some differing opinions on the Ted Lasso.
I thought it was great. I thought it was everything it needed to be. I think a lot of people who are disappointed in the third season of Ted Lasso had their expectations wildly out of reach. There's certain aspects of the show that weren't perfect. I think the third season of Lasso, to use a sports reference, gets on base. If that makes any sense.
Yes, Jay.
I don't think it completely hits the home run, but I think it hits a nice line drive to center.
Oh, okay. So it's a single.
Or I would say, or a ground rule double.
Ground rule double. All right.
Which for me, which is fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It didn't affect me as much as I thought it was going to.
Oh, really? You thought it was really going to be an emotional roller coaster? That really,
I think beat for beat, I think just some of the beats just don't have enough of a middle to them. Specifically, Nate.
Uh-huh.
I'm also okay with it in that there's a certain aspect of realism to it, in that it's just sometimes life isn't tied up in a neat, tidy little bow.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people wanted Ted Lasso season 3 to be tied up in a nice little bow.
You know,
and they didn't get that bow.
You know why they wanted that bow?
Because season 2 was tied up in such a nice little bow.
Sure. Also because it's narrative fiction. Because it's a written story that can be crafted to give us a nice little bow.
Yeah.
An earned bow.
You also cannot handle an unhappy ending anywhere.
Not in
You have to admit that.
That's true, but also not into. Sometimes there have been. I can't think of them at the top of my head right now. But there have been a couple times it's okay, I get the down ending. They had 12 episodes. All of them were about an hour long. Some of them over. The last episode was over an hour. So they had basically somewhere about 12 hours worth of content, of story to tell us. And they made choices to skip large swaths of the story just to move time along, I guess, and just give us other scenes that we didn't need.
Yeah.
Because they did great with Colin's story was great about him coming out.
Yes,
and
great.
the teams being accepting of him.
Just Trent Krim being a part of the group. I was
that was great.
No one is mad with more Trent Krim. He's the best.
He's the best. Roy, his journey of to opening up a little bit.
I think
talking to the press.
I think his arc is really good, and him figuring out, him ending up where he did, not with Keeley, and realizing that he has a lot of work to do on himself, was maybe my favorite arc of a character.
Really?
That was obviously the arc they were going for. He joins the Diamond Dogs to tell everyone, I don't like me. And I don't think I'm the best version of myself, and I don't know how to deal with that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like that's huge. And him specifically going to therapy to try to be a better person, that's a big friggin' deal.
Oh, okay. You know what? I didn't catch that the first time. I was highly disappointed that we didn't know where they landed with him and Keeley.
Oh, I think it's heavily implied that him going to therapy and trying to be a better version is going to end up with him and Keeley being together at some point.
Then why didn't they do that?
Because I think they're trying to shoot for a season 3.
4? I thought that was the last season.
No, that's what I meant. Season 4,
Are they?
Or something else.
I thought that was the last season.
We'll see. I don't know.
Wait. Seriously?
It's only rumors. It's only rumors. There's literally nothing confirmed.
Oh. Okay, because I was going into this this is the final season. We're after this.
There's been whispers and some tweets that
after
are kind of
there's going to be no more Ted Lasso.
We'll see.
Okay.
It's making too much money for Apple Plus. I would be shocked. It may not come back as Ted Lasso because you might not have physically Ted Lasso in it, but it might be its own thing.
Okay. Well, from that standpoint, then, coming from this is it. We're done with the story. All these characters. We're moving on after this. I don't understand why they didn't tell us what happened to Ted.
What do you mean?
Ted goes home.
Yeah.
But does he get back with his wife? Or they separated?
It's never been about that.
No, but they were still talking. That guy clearly didn't like soccer. They were given in the language.
It's kind of implied.
It was implied. But then why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us? Because it seemed like it was really important.
You just can't handle the subtlety of it, I think.
I can handle subtlety when it is earned. Like the end of Inception. What happens? I don't know. You can make your choice. That was earned and well done. This is he's been working up to something like this, and he goes home.
But I think your expectations of it are. I don't think it's ever really been about getting back together with his wife.
I'm not saying it has been.
I think it's about him showing up as a father because his father could in the ultimate sense didn't show up for him.
Fine. Then why did they have that whole storyline of her dating their counselor, and then coming over, and then have that guy watch the soccer match with them, and him like, this is boring and dumb.
Because
and
that would be hard, regardless of whatever the thematic
I'm
choices.
saying the language they were using, the notes that in the story, this was a crack in their relationship. He's gonna go away. It seems like she came around a little bit. Ted also did some growing, and it seemed like they may be able to reconnect.
Sure.
Why didn't they? If you're going to do that, why didn't you show it? Or if they're not going to do it, why did you show any of it? That's why I'm frustrated. They made story choices that just jump over things or leave things too subtle.
Okay.
When you could have been just like, here, no, this is the story we wanted to tell. This is not up to interpretation.
Some of us don't need to be spoon-fed like a bunch of babies, you know? Some of us
Jay,
spoon-feeding babies.
I want the train. Give me the train. Where's the choo-choo?
Right, we're getting lost in the sauce on Ted Lasso here.
Just saying, wasn't a lot of good stories in that. Some of them were not that great.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on that season until Beard showed up at Nate's doorstep, and I got it.
Nope. Wrong. Nate's whole storyline was dumb, and I hate it. That's for a later video, or never touching. Well, maybe I can talk about it on stream. Hey, one more movie I saw before we get to the movie we saw yesterday. No, because you wanted to watch this. The Machine.
Oh, yeah. The Burt Kreischer movie?
Yes. Guys, it's actually very good.
I know. It's
very funny.
That movie in particular, I want to support financially because I want more movies like that to be made. That makes any sense?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to steal that movie.
Sure. Like, it's funny. When it comes out on streaming, watch it. That 7-minute bit he has. Oh, hilarious. How are they going to turn that into a movie? Oh, okay, so it actually was real, and then he goes back to... No. They do a fantastic job of weaving his real life into this story that's fiction, and like going back and telling the original version of the story through flashbacks. True. Yeah, no, I know. But I know the story is true, but like all this stuff in the movie's fiction.
I see what you're saying.
But weaving this stuff together, having the relationship with his father, the stuff that happens in Russia, it's also, I don't think this came across in the trailers. The action in this movie is good.
Really?
Yes. I was surprised when the action started, because I thought it was just going to be like a comedy, right?
Yeah.
No, it's an action comedy. Because like there are people who are really kicking ass in this movie, and they're doing a very good job of it. Okay. And there is a couple of sight gags in this movie that I've never seen before, and it was I could not stifle my laughter, and Amanda was asleep, and I laughed so hard because it's like I can't believe I've never seen this before. This is so simple and hilarious. Guys, if you have an opportunity. See The Machine. It's a good movie. It's really good. It's very funny. And the performances are great.
Yeah.
It's really well done. I cannot recommend it enough. Watch The Machine.
One more recommendation before we move on to the last movie. The Bear.
Oh, yes.
The season 2 just came out. Kimberly and I just finished it. If you're interested in how to write good dialogue, if you're looking to capture the essence of grit of real life, while also like weaving a narrative like tapestry, these screenplays are breathtaking. The show is one of the best written shows I've ever seen. It's incredible. That being said, if you worked in the restaurant industry like I did for 15 years, it's the most accurate representation of what restaurant life is like I've ever seen. To the point where there's episodes of the show that I have had to turn off because they were wildly triggering to me. I'm not even kidding to you. They walk in the door, someone left Grubhub on, and there's 200 orders sitting in front of them. Fuck off. Not watching that. Because I lived that. The season 2 finale left me in such I haven't stopped thinking about it. It leaves it in such a weird place, but like, I can't stop thinking about it. It's amazing television. Last movie.
The last movie that came out in June. The final day of June. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Jay, I know you're smiling right now, and so am I. Would you be interested to hear that I looked on YouTube last night, and a lot of our fellow reactors out there have already seen this movie. Their thumbnails all have them kind of like this.
Really?
Yes! I am shocked.
Really?
Yes. Jay and I walked out of this movie. humming the theme song.
I like literally.
We were just jaunting to
I couldn't stop smiling. I had the best time at this movie.
It's a great
to
movie.
the point where like I almost wanted to like stop people on the street outside the theater and be like, Indiana Jones, it's actually good. It's actually good.
I leaned over to Jay after the opening action scene, and I was like, "Hey Jay, this is an Indiana Jones movie.
It's an Indiana Jones movie. They're actually made an Indiana Jones movie."
Because we just did an episode of Fix It, where we fixed Crystal Skull, and so we rewatched Crystal Skull recently. And I was like, "Yeah, this is not it, guys. I see what you were trying to do, something different, and you shouldn't have done anything really different. You can just change the circumstances, the things. This movie comes along and it's like they didn't do anything different, but they did new cool situations. Yeah. Like the opening scene is just like. Yeah,
it's Indiana Jones.
It's so
like it's
one
so
of the most
fun Indiana Jones sequences they've ever done.
Yes,
like ever.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And
it's Indy killing a bunch of Nazis on a train full of antiques. What's not to like?
Yeah, man!
What's like if that's not
the formula.
Indiana Jones to you, then I don't know what you think it is.
And the deep faking, the de-aging of Harrison Ford for the first or in some of the flashbacks in the beginning of the movie is real good.
I mean, yeah.
It's real good.
It's the best version of that we've seen, at least up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, when Luke came back in Mandalorian, I was like, all right,
they fixed it.
They fixed it. But this is like, this is... Because there was a shot in the trailer when he was riding the horse that was it was deep faked, like a virtual... Because clearly it wasn't going to be him on the horse.
No.
And people were just like, I don't know. No, the CG, the deep faking technology, the de-aging stuff looks great. It's really good. At no point, because even though we're like, yeah, that's deep fake, does not take us out of the film. It doesn't like, Uncanny Valley, like The Flash. Like, no, perfect. Very well done. It's like, that's Indiana Jones. Time appropriate. Let's go. Killing some Nazis. Pew pew. Saving some antiques. Let's go. Guys, it's a really good movie.
Yep.
I don't know what people's problems are with it. We had no problems with this movie.
So much fun. I would say my only complaint is that there are some sequences. The certain sequences are too long. Like
the chase scenes.
The movie could maybe be 10 to 15 minutes shorter than it actually is.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't care. Like at the same time, I'm like, that's not that bad of a problem. It just felt like an Indiana Jones movie. The things that really that made it land as an indie movie for me were not necessarily like Indiana tropes. Are they did not retcon away 4.
They did. Nope.
They accepted the emotional truth and the emotional circumstances and the emotional consequences of what came from 4, and made those important to the character in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated that because it was like, okay. We're not just pretending it doesn't exist. We're not going to make weird little jokes in this movie about how bad that movie, because I hate it when that happens, because it doesn't age well in any way. Mm-hmm. They also do not try to tell me that Harrison Ford isn't 80. Whereas in the 4th movie, they tried to we just kind of dyed his hair and all pretended like Indiana Jones wasn't too old to be doing what he was doing. And in this movie, it was like, no, Indiana Jones is past his prime.
Yeah.
If anything,
he is retiring.
That's the theme of the movie, is him getting back into the game because he had kind of given up. And that's like the whole concept. And that, for me, I can get behind that. I can root for Indiana Jones to get back to his old days. I guess we're in spoiler territory.
We're spoiler territory.
But at the end, when he was like, no, I want to stay here, part of me was like, it's kind of a cool way to go. It's not bad. But then when she punched him out and brought him along anyways, I was like, that's the most Indiana Jones things that's happened in a movie in a long time.
Because she was right. He was like, you're going to change everything. You got to get back. Come on. Yeah!
Yeah.
This movie did such a good job. And we've been debating. Jay's firmly on the recast Indiana Jones and let's make more because these are fun.
I really am.
And a lot of people are just like, no, it's Harrison Ford and only Harrison Ford.
But this movie is an argument to that.
Yes, because we know what the formula is. Or what parts you need. You need, I think, Nazis. Because, and here's why, when they're they're through the time butthole, they're in the past, they're on the ship, or on the plane, What's her name? What's the name of the character? The girl?
He calls her Wombat. I can't remember.
When she drops the bomb doors and all the Nazis fall out.
We go, ha ha ha!
And one guy's just like hanging on, and she goes, "Sorry, but you're a Nazi." That is yes. We don't feel bad about killing these guys in every horrible way imaginable because they're Nazis. It was a little weird when they were Russians. It was like, oh, the Cold War, that's a little bit more complicated. We all don't like each other because we're vying for global power, but we're not
political pawns here a little bit.
But Nazis. Crush them, gush them, give them that crunch. It doesn't. Send them down to the ants. We don't care because they're Nazis. And I was like, that's right. That's the thesis statement. She just said it. Sorry, but you're a Nazi. Bye. Boom. Like, it's great. It's great. Nazis as bad guys are great. The MacGuffin they were looking for, the Dial of Destiny, is like, okay, you know what? Archimedes' dial computer type of thing. Like, I've maybe heard of that, possibly.
It technically exists.
Sure.
Then they did find something on the ocean floor. Like, we don't know what this does. Like, we think it's an early computer. We're not totally sure. Like, it is something that and also everyone kind of knows Archimedes. Everyone kind of knows, like, the Siege of Syracuse.
Yeah, the death ray from the sun, yeah.
And we, like, these are things that, like, we all conceptually can get our heads around. And that's why the first movie and the third movie outrank the second one, because we were dealing with a MacGuffin that we didn't understand why it was important or what it did. It doesn't have to be any kind of religious thing. It's just we need to understand what it's capable of doing. We are capitalists. What does it produce? That's the only way we know how to process things.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Crap, you know what? That's probably one of the smartest things
this little village needs these stones. Screw that village. What are they going to do? Just put them on a little stand? They don't have a cheesecake factory there. What are we even doing here?
Well, it did make the valley come back to life so they could produce crops and stuff to maybe sell. So maybe
but that wasn't clear.
It was not clear.
We all got lost in the monkey brains. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of other props.
We did.
There's a lot of other set pieces happening in that movie.
But they did a good job Archimedes' dial is like, it could do this. We know this guy because he's doing the lecture. That's how you do a lore dump. He's in front of class. This is what Archimedes did. This is why. Oh, she's got the information.
Also informs me what his life is going, like how his life is going at the time. It also gives us the opportunity to introduce another character. I was like, this is the most economic scene we've had in a long time. Wow.
Yep. This is good. And it's like, this makes sense. Archimedes, Greece, let's do Greek stuff. That's cool. Why we
so fun.
And at the beginning, when they gave us the MacGuffin of the Spear of Destiny, I was like, because that's like,
and they're like, it's a fake.
It's a fake.
And I was like, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yep. Because everyone's like, that would be a good MacGuffin for an Indiana Jones movie. The Spear of Destiny? Hell yeah. And they show up like, what are we? Because I even leaned over to Jay, I was like, dude, is someone going to melt that down and like turn that into like a clock or something like that and that be like the thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, it's a fake. So, I got boozled. Thank you. Yes. Boozle me, Daddy. Yes, please. I love this. It was so good. Because it just seems like, there's more things out there. There are more treasures.
Yeah.
There's more things to discover, to find. We know we should be doing it with, plot and running around and doing stuff and the chase scenes were a little long, and there were a couple of them. I think the chase scenes were kind of in lieu of actual like fight scenes, just because Harrison Ford is 80, so it wouldn't make a whole ton of sense of him punching somebody out. But like those chase scenes were good. The bad guy kind of being an evil a Nazi Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Great.
And the fact that he was going to go back and kill Hitler because he could Hitler better. That's buck wild.
He's got the rocket technology in his
head.
Buck
wild to me. That is crazy. I was like, whoa, okay, movie. Look, this movie was great. I
don't know what people's problems are. I haven't watched those videos yet. We really like this movie. We like this movie. Hey, because here's the thing.
I'm not showing up. I don't need you to tell me why you didn't like it. I don't care.
I'm interested to see what.
I was walking on sunshine after
this guy movie. Could just.
I just couldn't.
He couldn't. Yeah, he was. He really was.
I called my brother and my dad.
Did you?
And my dad was like, "Hey, is everything okay?" I was like, "Indiana Jones is good," and he was like, and I found out my dad didn't. They didn't like Guardians 3. They didn't like Guardians 3, and I was like, "You're wrong." But here's.
Is he still your father?
I know.
Just own that guy.
I was like, Dad. You know why? It's because the music wasn't from his generation, I think.
Oh.
He was like, well, I missed all the music. I didn't get the music choices. I was like, No Sleep Till Brooklyn when they're kicking ass. It's awesome. He's like, yeah, I don't know who that is. I was like, it's a beat. Never mind. That's not. Yeah, I just called people to tell them that Indiana Jones was good.
Did your brother yeah,
You
woo?
can call me back, jerk.
Oh, jerk.
Hey, Zachary, call me back, idiot. We never call each other back. We're the same human.
That's it's true. They had the same voice.
It's really spooky.
They have, guys. I'm not kidding. I played video games with both of them at the same time. They start talking, and I don't know who's talking.
It's really
because they're in two different positions, and they start saying things. And I'm like, I don't. Which one do I go to? Who's saying what? Because they sound
like
identical.
I could have my brother call in sick for me if I needed him to.
You really could.
Yeah.
Go see The Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
You're going to like it. You're going to like it. It's really good.
It's really good.
It's really good. It's got all the Indiana Jones things you like. We were arguing on the way to the subway after the movie of where we ranked this movie. Because I had this as it's a 3, 1, 5, 2, 4. But you were arguing.
I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. I think the only reason 1 stays in the 2 spot is because we're trying to respect the OG.
I mean, you're right. I mean, yeah.
This might be in the 2 spot for me.
Really?
Yeah. But again, it's recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is like talk to me in a little while what I actually. But man,
maybe should we watch Raiders to get to remind yourself of what was in there and how?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue. It's just Dial of Destiny is as close as you can get to an OG Indiana Jones movie with how we make movies now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Anyone that's like, well, it's not quite, and I'm like, yeah, it's just like we just don't do it that way anymore, and that's just how it is.
Yep.
There's no way to go back and recreate it.
And it also helps because they used the music correctly.
Yeah.
They used the theme, came in at every appropriate point, and
yes,
what it did, it is
narratively, not to be like, member. It was like made the story better, not made a moment better for you to have the nostalgic feelings, which is different. That 4th movie was so up its own butt of like, hey, remember how you like these movies? Yeah, I know I like these movies. Give me a good one, please. Oh, you don't know how to do that? Okay, thanks for pulling it out.
Yeah,
because
I was worried. I was real worried, but that was quite good. I think you're probably gonna love it. Because I loved it. It was like...
Yeah, I got some weird comments on Twitter.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I just tweeted it. I was like, this movie, I can't stop smiling. It was so good. You're like, oh, you can't stop smiling because it's over? And I'm like, if we've learned anything from doing this as long as we've been doing it, is that like we have to make sure we keep our attitude right about when going into movies. And like we have to make sure we give movies the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally said to you as we were walking the theater, I was like, please be good. Please. Because like I was overtly kind of negative about the concept of another Indiana Jones after this last one.
Absolutely. Makes sense. And there you have it. All of the things.
We've been talking for an hour and a half.
An hour and a half about movies and stuff. Of all the things we watched. We liked half of them and didn't like the other half.
Yeah.
Or they was a little mid, a little on the other half. But good movies in June. And the rest of the summer we got a couple more left. We got Mission Impossible coming out next week. Turtles at the beginning of August.
I can't wait for Turtles, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think Turtles. I think we're gonna be surprised at how good Turtles is. I mean, it looks good, but I feel like we're still like. I think they're still holding their cards close to their chest about how good this movie's going to be.
Can I be honest with you? One thing that makes me really excited about like the concept of a new era of Turtles movies that makes me excited.
You can show your son.
I really want my kid to be a Ninja Turtles kid. I'm getting emotional about it. Like I loved the Ninja Turtles as a kid, and the fact that like my kid could also love that too, like really just like that just makes me so happy. That's so fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Then get him a little shell.
Oh.
Put it on.
Or just make it out of a garbage lid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just a cardboard.
Yeah. Get him some nunchucks. Teach him how to beat the crap out of Baxter Stockman, which is a mannequin that looks like a lot like Adam Lash.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teach him to come get you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Don't make me go Spider-Man 2099 on your son.
Well, on that note, process. Vengeance.
Guys, we got more Paloozas coming in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
We're not done with catching up yet.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Hold on to your butts,
We're
idiots.
not quite there yet. Did you guys see these movies? What did you think? Let us know in the comments below. And I don't know if you're aware of this. You probably are by now. But Jay and I are very busy making a lot of things.
Guys, we make a ton of stuff. Check out all the links below. We've got a butt ton of content down there. We've got our Patreon where we have all of our full watch-alongs. There's so much content there. If you want to support us, that's cool too, just because you like us. Also, hey, check out our podcast Fix It, where we fix something every week. It's our 50th episode coming out. We have done 50 weeks of that show without missing one.
Nope, we did it. We're doing it.
It's been a fresh one. And there are 50 episodes waiting for you if you want to get caught up now. What has been your favorite episode of that one?
The favorite? Oh, geez. I think my Fast and the Furious fix from Thanksgiving.
I think
was really
the
good.
Fast and the Furious fixes. I think that might be
Fast and the Furious.
That might be our funnest episode.
Yes.
Because it may be my funniest fix.
It's one
and
of your funniest.
Your best, one of your best. Like we could actually make this movie fixes. I would say Jurassic World if we didn't have the audio issues on that one.
Oh, that's true. They weren't that bad though.
They weren't that bad.
No, it's very serviceable.
But yeah, there's some great ones.
Real good ones.
Also,
out there.
For our 50th episode, we are fixing our first Star Wars actual main canon movie, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And it's an excellent episode.
It really is.
The fixes go there. And if you're a Star Wars nerd, like I know the majority of you who follow us are,
yes. You're going to
check
love
it out.
Yeah.
Also, there's my Twitch stream where I'm back streaming, baby. Come say hi. We're gonna be playing all sorts of fun stuff. Also, our gaming channel where Adam streams. He's streaming this week as well.
Final Fantasy 16 on Friday.
Can't wait.
Vengeance.
I'm excited to watch it.
Process. Magic. Big old swords. Summons. A good dog. He's a good boy.
I need to pee.
No! Tell us more things we do, Jay! We make merch! We got
have a baby.
shirts!
We
Jay
merch.
makes babies!
We got merch. We got all sorts of stuff. Just click the button for a butt ton of content.
But before you do, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell!
Do that YouTube that you do so well. Guacamole's Extra, you hour-and-a-half long episode watching weirdos you.
Other video to probably a Palooza is popping up right to
Yeah.
Please watch this. We would appreciate it as much as we appreciate you watching all an hour and a half of this one. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.